Budget meeting may run to order. Commissioner Dominion, I know you don't want to take it off, but would you mind taking off the leads in location real quick, please?
Thank you, dear Lord, for this day and for its many blessings. Thank you, dear God, for your Son Jesus. In him we have all hope. And dear Lord, we pray your blessings upon this meeting here tonight, dear Lord, upon this county, our state, and our country. And pray, dear Lord, your help in all that we do. Pray, dear Lord, your guidance here tonight as we make decisions for this county. Help us all, dear Lord, and bless each one that's here tonight. We'll be mindful to give you the praise forever. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Amen. Thank you, sir. Take a motion for approval of the agenda. So thank you, sir. A second?
Second.
Thank you, ma'am. Expect that to show it. No discussion. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All right, passes unanimously. And again, as always, if it passes unanimously, that is implied to be that we will not, on other items, that we will not need to do a second reading in the second month. So just put that disclaimer out each and every time. As always, recognition of the public, what we like to do on budget is as the items come up and we discuss them, then once all the information's out, we ask for input from the public at that point. And approval of the minutes, entertain a motion. Thank you, Mr. Cooper. Second from Mr. Good. Thank you. Any discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
None opposed? Passed unanimously. My budget or my report won't be too bad. A couple things. It was discussed at the last commission meeting, and I'll reiterate it again in case it didn't get put in the minutes or it wasn't included the right way. There's a subcommittee for the waterways. When everything opens up and all the governments are back open, we'll get some dates for it. The members are, again, it's Terry. Lee, you all right?
Yeah, I'm fine. Sorry.
As long as you're okay.
Are you sure?
Okay, that's
I'm good.
I'm not gonna lie, I was wishing we had that on Zoom. All right, it's Terry Wright, Mo Taylor, Steve Graves, Jerry Mansfield, myself. Terry's got a weird schedule, so when we get closer to everything being open, we can get replies from the utilities companies that we need. We'll get some dates put out, and we'll just do an email, kind of figure out when everybody can meet on that one. And just to remind everyone, the last grant is still pending. They bid it out in December. Just didn't get accepted at the beginning of the year. I don't know how much work maybe got done before the COVID hit. We can't apply for anything else until that grant money has all been spent. So we've got this calendar year for sure before we can even think about applying until next year when the grants come out, and then it depends on what we've got with the state. But we'll keep everybody advised. But again, we'll meet as soon as all the governments are wide open and the utilities are. I was requested to get some information about FEMA, how much we've spent. As of right now, the county has spent and this is a rough estimate because obviously it's changing and growing each and every day. And it's right around $285,000 so far from the county. And that's including the hotel, it's including all the overtime, everything we've done so far. Obviously, it's not complete. It won't be complete until we go to a full phase 4 by national standards, by the governor's standards, where everything's wide open and everybody's doing everything. Because at that point, it will hopefully end it, and we'll have a better overall number for everything. But again, as it goes along, it's being documented. There's talking with Mr. Wider about it. There's several workshops they had prior. All of our municipalities and all of our entities that need to be there made it. And so all of them are in line with how they need to report, what documentation they needed from the very beginning. So we're good to go on everything that we can apply for and get back. We're on the process right now. Like I said, right now it's only $285,000. That's just for the county's part. Obviously, Hendersonville has some, Gallatin, all the others, so it's well over the $600,000 mark already. Let's see. And one more, the budget for this year. We've mentioned it before. I'll mention it again. And I don't want people, sometimes when you say zero budget, some people have the idea that you have to generate a budget from zero, justifying every penny you spend through all salaries and justify salary. We're not doing that type of zero budget. That's a different form of accounting that we don't want any part of at this time. But when we say neutral budget, they're going to be given the same numbers they had last year. If you you have openings that were open last year and you were given money to fill them still this coming year. So we're not doing a hiring freeze at this point. We are holding any salaries at the exact levels they were last year, except obviously elections is getting theirs that we knew. That should be done hopefully this month, where they get the prorated, or the retroactive check for the entire year for the people that got the phone. There's been a few groups that have come to us throughout the year last year, that'll come up in the budget hearings, that had said, hey, at some point we know we're gonna have an issue with budget next year. An example I'll give you is drug court. Ms. Terry knew that they were losing one of their grants more than likely, that helps pay for one of their employees. So that's something we've known for probably almost a full year now, that was gonna come up. Those are the kind of things we're gonna try and address if we can, but obviously the goal is still gonna be not to spend any more money than we have to. We're gonna try and limit any capital spending, trucks, anything like that, if we can for this first year, because this year we're going to be in the reserves. Thankfully, again, I'll say it, we have an incredible finance department, and we've had incredible commissioners over the past 5 years that have supported the way we try and budget. And because of that, we've got reserves built up to weather this recession, which we've been planning for, not only with our day-to-day operational budget, but also our capital budget in the projects we've voted on and approved. So we'll probably issue bonds for some of those things later in the summer when it's a better bond market. Right now, Julie, who does that, kind of said, she's not sure what we get, so until it kind of settles down, then we'll put those bonds out like we planned on all along. Nothing's going to change on that. We're going to have a better model for Mr. Long, hopefully by the end of the month. And what we're going to do is maybe the first week of June, and he's got the dates, we're going to tentatively look at doing the workshops that we usually do with all the department heads and elected officials. And then the plan is we're going to ask that the main commission meeting be moved 1 week later, and then that will give us appropriate time to notice and do all of our announcements we have to, so we can vote on, if we get the workshop done in the beginning of June, we can get the budget done at the end of June. And then meet the budget guidelines that the state has, getting it turned before June. And also, like I said, that way we'll have better models and a better idea. We fully understand that there's a wide variety of reports about how quick this recession will be over, and about how far-reaching it will be. Taking that in mind, Mr. Long is obviously going to keep up with it like he always has, but we may discuss it a little more than we have in previous years, mid-year. Kind of, hey, here's where the county's at, here's how we're doing in collections, here's where we're at, based on the 2019 numbers, 2018 numbers, and even back to 2009 numbers with the last recession. And kind of keep everybody up to date on that. We let some people know if by chance we bounce back really fast, things look fantastic, we're not opposed as a budget committee to look at COLA mid-year and bring that to the commission as appropriate. If it's not, it's not. So that we'll have to just kind of wait and see how the numbers are. But that's something we don't usually do a lot during the year, but this year we're probably going to do a little more than we have. It's just kind of keep everybody up to date on where we're at and what we think the numbers are going to be for the year. Hotel Mountain's getting beat to death, some of the sales tax. A lot of the court costs that we get are tortured right now. We'll get them back because they'll have to make up all those court cases, but again, it's going to be a weird kind of thing on that. So as we report things on the budget, just know that it's subject to change at any minute just based on the numbers we get back at that time. Don't believe I left anything off for that part. Yes, ma'am.
We had email correspondence about an issue that.
Oh, thank you, yeah. I did forget something, thank you, I appreciate it.
And I can give you a little bit more update on the water.
I've got it. What it is Commissioner Taylor wanted to bring up a motion to waive the fees for the people that were transported by hospital from the nursing home when we had all the deaths. I think it's a very compassionate, fantastic idea.
No, I didn't say waive.
Agree. Huh?
My resolution wasn't to waive the fees.
Okay, what was it?
It was to not bill the residents.
Well, here, that's what I was gonna get to. Talk to Ms. Zim and about how things work. They're gonna get billed regardless. We can't stop the billing. The reason I say that is twofold. There were 19 ambulances used that night. Only 5 of them were ours. The other 14 were from other counties where we used MOUs where we've got agreements in place if in need of emergency. Some were private ambulance services, so we can't not bill them just the same as everybody else is billed. It's just a function of how things are set up. We can't waive the fees, although I think it's a very well-placed motion in the sense of a good heart behind it. We can't do that because it's only 5 ambulances worth of people. 14. And we have no say over the other 14, how they're getting billed, how they're getting paid, or anything else. So from a legal point, from a billing point, and in my opinion, from a fairness point, there's no way for us to do this and do it in any way possible. Because again, we're only about 25% of the people. The other 75% were made up with out-of-county and private agencies. So thank you, Mr. Taylor. I forgot, that's one that had come up, and I told him to share the directions.
The June budget meetings.
We'd also like to move the June budget meeting to the 15th. That'll give us the time after we have the early workshops to do the announcements, and then that will also more likely be that joint budget, school meeting. And I gotta get with Danny about that, make sure they're okay with it too, so we can get it all ready to go. Thank you, David. Now I think I've actually covered it.
Do you want to set the dates of that first week in June?
Yeah,
We
yeah.
got here, because we need to, if we're gonna do June 29th, we're gonna need to publish the budget and we're going to about it.
What days did you want to do?
We have the whole week, anytime the first week.
First week of June, anybody got conflicts?
First week,
Tuesday, Wednesday? Y'all okay with that?
what time did you go?
Regular time start about 9. Is that okay with everybody? No issue? Okay. Yes, ma'am.
Did you want to, when we set up notification, did you want to tell the departments with zero increase that it's non-mandatory?
They've submitted with theirs, we've asked them to submit in keeping with what we just talked about, so we'll deal with it there at the budget. So,
Now about the one, did zero.
Yep. and, we're gonna do the nonprofit with the new way of doing it this year, so thank you. We should take care of all that for us.
Must be doing process. Might not have any money for it,
David, anything? No, I think I have actually heard it. Mr. Mayor?
This is off my figures. Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I do have a report to give tonight. First, I want to talk about the opening of this building. Everything's going smooth. I think we were prepared. We took the time to close the building to make personal protection as far as shields for every clerk's position in the building. We're still checking everyone's temperatures during the daytime, including myself, all the employees, and the public that comes in the building every time we come in. There's one exit, which is the handicap exit. We have provided personal protection, wipes, and we are doing an extra job of cleaning all surfaces. So far, fingers crossed, we've had no contamination in this building, and nobody that's employed in this building has contracted the virus. So that's good work, and I want to commend all our employees, all of our department heads, elected officials for doing a fantastic job. Second of all, I'm proud to announce that we have closed on the property behind this building, which is 3 acres, and the Board of Education closed on their acreage, which is 7 acres. Now, why is this important? This is important because during the time this building was closed to the public, we were still working, we completed the renovation of the last space of this building, and IT has moved in. And I'm going to invite you before our county commission meeting to come and look at that space. We did that in-house. It looks great. And that was a great place to house IT. But having said that, there's nothing available in this building. This building is completely full. If you go out to archives and you go in the back part of the building, the storage is completely full. And so this is going to be vitally important to county government moving forward. One day, you're not going to have enough building to house employees as the county continues to grow. And so originally, we had contracted for $150,000, $150,000 per acre, but we actually, because the Board of Education went in with us and bought 7 additional acres, we purchased the property for $145,000 an acre, for a total purchase price of 3 acres, $435,000. So I wanted to let you know that, excited about that, and of course we're getting ready to expand our parking lot that you've approved behind the archives because we just don't have enough parking. in this facility. So I just wanted to update you on that and let you know what's going on.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you. And that's all, Mama.
Dave?
The first one is the cash flow analysis for the Highway Public Works Fund. There's also, Ms. Harden has some adjustments in there tonight, and, she's actually adjusting down her gas tax and expenditures. Right now, her cash flows do look good, but we're watching it quite closely because we know at one point that the traffic was down by up to 40%. TDOT's estimated that the gas tax could be down by as much as 25% next year, which is one of their major revenue sources, which is reflected in the budget. But right now, the cash flows does look good, and I've been talking to Ms. Judy, she's monitoring it closely, and we're monitoring it with her. And that does need to go to the county commission for the request. Item B is the memorandum just telling you that the financial statements are on the county's website and where they can be located. And if any commissioner would like a copy, we can bring a hard copy at any time. The courthouse jail maintenance fund, that's on there because currently we're sitting out the money that's in the general fund for the courthouse and jail. It may or may not run out, but I wanted it on the agenda because the courthouse and jail maintenance fund is funded by litigation tax, and right now litigation tax is taken early for our meeting. Right now, preliminary looks like it's probably gonna be okay, but we're on the agenda to discuss next month. And that's all for our report.
Yes, sir. All business, Comer Bar is still docketed, and salary survey, this has been approved, we just had to put it on the agenda so that it could actually go into effect, and we can get it done for the election officials. So, it's been dragging for about 2 months due to COVID or so. Appreciate your patience. And, do I need to do a motion on that, Leah?
It's just a document.
Okay, that's what I was thinking. All right, we're good. Now, new business education, budget amendments for approval. There you go. Any discussion? It was Michelle and Mr. Good. Sorry. No discussion, all in favor say aye. Any opposed? Passed unanimously. Other budget amendments, which is information only, B appropriations, Sheriff's Department, the monthly state medical inmate reimbursement that we have to about every month. Thank you. Any discussion? That was Mr. Goode and second by Ms. Nichol, or Mr. Nichol.
Big call for
All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Passed unanimously. Next one is a $409 annual animal control donation for food supplies. We just have to approve to take it, so entertain a motion.
So moved.
Second. All right. Ms. Shell and Mr. Nipper. Any discussion? All in favor say aye. Passed unanimously. Next one is EMS. It's $151,139.26. It's the CARES Act COVID grant for EMS. And at one point, we were trying to look at a way to do hazard pay, different things. We brought it by a couple of different county officials. Metro can do that. They're also metropolitan government, which is why. For the CARES Act, it goes just to the EMS, and it's only to be used by EMS. Metro has a way around it. I have no idea how. Their civil service is working on it right now. But this is accepting the money that we would get from the CARES Act, and they've been using it obviously for PPEs and COVID-19 related expenses. I so moved. Thank you. Excuse me and Mr. Nipper. Any discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Passed unanimously. COVID pandemic code 14 cents.
talking to Chief Miller, we don't need it at this time, but the actual funds for that will expire, and those we have available on the morning of the commission item about. Probably just a prudent action, maybe go ahead and do one more month, and it's not necessary.
Yeah, we won't do it. Because everything opens back up May 1, and we're taking that 14-day period, we may need it still, we're hoping we won't.
Okay.
So I'm saying maybe put another rate up to $55,000, and if nothing's happened in the morning of the commission,
I think 45 would be enough.
That was Mr. Good and Ms. Shaw for the second.
Up to 45 is fine.
45? 45?
Yeah, to 45, because we already got
The
Yeah.
first group that we gotta pay out for the house and all that.
yeah, but that's already in there.
Any discussion? All in favor, say aye. Aye. Any opposed? All right, passed unanimously. Power Department, we kind of talked about that one. And Miss Judy has been really good about working with David, she always is, and she realizes that her budget's gonna get beat to death this year to finish up the year and throughout the year, so if anyone there, that maybe.
And I think Ms. She gonna talk about her commitments, I'm not sure. Third rate decrease, the potential loss of $49.
Pretty much Miss Judy, you can start driving.
Basically, most of this is housekeeping, but I have pulled the revenues back, in plans for the, gasoline tax and some of the other revenues not, materializing due to the COVID virus. And so, I'm just here if y'all have any questions.
Miss Judy's been very aggressive in her rate projections for for the short term she's gonna have. And, it's one of the few times I've heard David say that maybe it was even more than he would have thought, or would have suggested. So we appreciate her diligence and doing everything to make sure that we stay within budget. So, does anybody have any questions for us? Anybody? Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you.
Appreciate it. All right, Ms. Lori?
Yes, sir. Okay.
Do we need to vote on that? Okay, we are, we're sorry, Lord. I so move with a second by Michelle. Any discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Passed unanimously. Thank you. All right, Ms. Lori.
Okay, so, elections, we have 2 this year, remaining. We did not budget anything for COVID for 2019, 2020. We didn't budget anything for 2020, 2021. We have been advised by the state that our CARE stimulus money is going to be 50 cents per registered voter for August and $1 for November. That gets us to $174,000. They asked us to budget everything we could possibly consider, and we broke it down into things we could use, like face masks and stanchions and things that we can keep, and then things that will be disposable, i.e. tape, gloves, things like that. We came up with about $295,500. Annette has done a phenomenal job. She's asking tonight that we do transfers, and I think she gave each of you all a copy of $53,000, a little bit over $53,000. If you guys will approve that, we can get that out of this year's budget. But that's going to leave us short about $64,500. Now, having said that, the state has promised us, I have nothing in writing, no numbers, no date, no guarantee, nothing, that they are going to give us masks, shields, gloves, and hand sanitizer. We don't know what to take off of that bottom number. So I guess what I'm asking tonight is for some guidance on how you want us to handle. We don't know what it's going to be. We have spent probably 150 hours trying to come to, we have about 6 or 7 contingency plans.
One of the things I brought up to Ms. Lori was seeing if there was any way we could tap into FEMA for some of the PPE stuff. Ken didn't think so, but he's still willing to try. He's going to try and work it and angle it that way. David and I started talking on just a side note. We know at some point we're going to have to set up a fund of some kind for PPE for the county building. It's obvious that we're going to be required to follow through with these kind of restrictions to some degree for at least the next calendar year, when we've been told until the vaccine comes up. We talked to Mayor Holt. What we're thinking, bring it up to the budget eventually, probably during budget hearings, is that we might add a line item to the mayor's budget, which is for PPE in general, which would be for everybody in the county. He's talked to Mr. Wyden. Mr. Wyden would order it since he's got the contacts, the best rates, and then he would be responsible to distribute it to everybody. That way, we have a good number as people need it. They weren't having to individually do it. Oh, no, it's a shortage. I can't get it here or there. We know Ken can get it when he needs to get it right away. And that kind of, just also so we had one clearinghouse we can kind of follow. You have other stuff you guys still do for that's I know. So.
Right, but the state is offered us the opportunity to buy through their buying power as well. So if we need something specifically, we can use the state's buying power to do that. we're not exactly sure how that's going to work. It's gonna go through the state, but from what I believe, everything's gonna be fronted by the county, and then we'll get paid back. So what I need to know from you guys is where this money's gonna come from, because we needed to start ordering stuff about 3 weeks ago.
That's, for this discussion, what I was gonna ask, I was gonna just bring a motion up that we, go forward with having it go through the county mayor's office for the PPE. We have them immediately order what Lori needs, all the stuff that she needs for that through Ken. That way we know when we hear as quick, and also Ken has some in storage, he has some stock, so if we had to start issuing immediately to her, we could. And that way we're kind of clean, and that the money's going through one place, the equipment's coming through another. Mr. Mayor, you want to comment on that?
I will. I think, you know, Lori, through an emergency, I can do that anyway, but we need to get by, which is the best way to do it. Commissioner ultimately got to fund it. I think the issue is going to be is PPE, getting PPE, and that's what we got to start working on. Because FEMA would be the first place, would be the easiest place to get it through, and that's what kind of Ken goes through. But the issue is they're trying to reserve so much of that for first responders. So there's only so much they will allow to be released, if that makes sense, because they've got to make sure that they protect, you know, the first responders, fire, police, EMS, all of that. So
We don't need the N95 masks, we just need the level one.
I'm just talking about
Okay.
anything.
What we really
That's the issue, is trying to acquire it. And that's where we're gonna run into trouble. And if the state, you know, we'll do the best we can.
Well, for
And you
voting,
have to do the best you can, because I'm just saying,
Yeah,
unless
that's what I
things
said,
change.
if you can let us know like a timeline of, hey, I need to have this much by this day.
Right.
well, we'll start early voting in July, but if a lot of our lead times on our vendors are 30 to 45 days, which is fine with us. So
Yeah.
we don't need to take Ken's items and things, we can go ahead and order them. That's our time
You
frame.
know you can get it then.
Yes,
And
if we order it now.
here's the problem. We got 8 weeks, and that's it.
Right.
They have to be here in 8 weeks, and that's basically trying to get them, unpack them, distribute them in like a day. That's why literally we have to start ordering tomorrow.
Let's say these,
I'm sorry?
Is that this year's the transfer?
That, we can use that out this year's budget. We're gonna finagle it, and we can get that out, right, so that would come
So the bottom
off.
line, after those transfers, before the state reimburses, were 238,499 is what we'll have to have. But sometime the state will reimburse 174,000.
and as I said, hopefully we'll have a little better. I know Lori has educated me on the fact that the state will have requirements that then change, and so, Lori, are you comfortable, we order this stuff, start ordering the stuff for you tonight, and so we get the PPEs in line, and then hit the other stuff when, in the 1st of June, when we do our budget meetings in? If we hopefully will have good direction from the state on that.
Absolutely,
You
and,
comfortable with that?
yeah, but I mean, we don't have the money, so I need you to tell me, you know, if you can put a $300,000 limit on it, or whatever, however y'all wanna handle it. I've gotta order it, and we've gotta get POs, and we've gotta do all of that.
Yeah.
Do you have a subtotal for June, is that the 145? If I look at the bottom of page 64. Is that your, I say June, I mean for the August election, is that a subtotal of the?
Which one, Deanne, I'm sorry?
So on the bottom of page 64.
Oh, there we go.
And I'm looking at I think I'm looking at the column for the August 6th election date. And that shows a grand total of 145, I think, at the bottom line.
Net,
You mind if I look at this page?
okay, I'm lost.
Look, it's on that page.
Oh,
Just sort of the number. Just wondering if that number is useful
That's
in terms of
for
what we
the August
order.
election.
Yeah,
The
correct.
145
And I
August.
think that's, is that what you were
Yeah.
referring to, Chairman? Is
Yeah,
that
yes,
what
yeah.
you're looking For that?
Yeah, let's order for the August election, and then kind of see, hopefully they'll.
well, when they reimburse us for the PPP, it usually takes 6 to 8 months. Is that right, David? Would you agree with that?
And just remember
So we
this,
don't even have that money back yet, and that'll come back in.
Yeah.
as we're starting to do this, so is every county
Well, that's what-
So we're all
in the
competing
country.
for
So we're all gonna be
goods.
competing, so if we may that may be too late to wait after the one election.
That's what she's saying, Reese, is they're just transferring 53 that they need a total of 145 just for the office.
Right.
So if we move this 53, they're gonna need another $90,000 appropriations for
And- Right, until we start
They
getting
get
money
you
back
through
in.
August, then we can talk about the November one in June.
Sure.
Okay.
We don't know where
So
we,
I'm hoping that we have some more money.
yeah, we don't know where everything's gonna be. But again, we have reusable items and non-reusable, and so, but if we don't start getting them, we're not gonna get them.
All right, I make the motion that we, do the money transfer for the fifth three, and we also allocate an additional, thank you.
92.
And that will get us to the August election, and then with everybody understanding that obviously when we meet in June, we gotta talk about the November election. Thank you.
And the thing I wanted to add is whatever we get from the state will come off of these numbers. We just simply don't know what that's going to be.
Well, we don't know what it'll be either way.
Right,
That's-
okay.
It is what it is.
It is.
Can I just say, I'm sorry.
Yes, sir. No motion, second by Mr. Goody, discussion? Al?
I just wanted to say one thing, wasn't related to that motion. I just want to make sure everybody knew, because I'm going to be having surgery and I won't be able to be at the budget meeting. Our budget next year will not be budget neutral because we have 2 elections that we didn't have this year. So I just want to make sure everybody kind of knew that.
Yeah, y'all are, you're cyclical, we get it.
Yeah.
And if I can help you, if you start having problems with that, I'll have to try to inquire.
Okay, perfect.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Made a motion. All right, any more discussion? All right, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, pass unanimously. All right. And, transfers? Other than that one?
Nothing out of the ordinary.
Motion to approve that. Mr. Good's motion, second with Michelle. Did we can approve all? Any discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, passed unanimously. Tax refunds, anything crazy, Ms. Denham?
No?
All right, the motion passes. Any discussion? All in favor, say aye. All right, passed unanimously. Anything else? We're good.